Hey everybody, back with another video, and this one actually I had already filmed this as part of my Make Tracks refurb video, but I thought it would be worthy of its own video, so I broke out this restore that I did on the Make Tracks tube, and I wanted to show the process because it just the restore brought it back like 100%. Looks way better. Here we go. There it is. The picture seems a little dim, but I have bright light shining on it, and it could definitely use some adjustment. So I might put the tube restorer on it. I might recap it, not sure. But we'll definitely adjust the colors and stuff. Otherwise, it looks pretty good. I mean, it's working, so no reason to do too much on it. It's kind of like overdriven here, I think, a little bit. That green is probably a little too dark. And yeah, so anyway, I'm going to adjust the monitor, and then just temporary wired stuff up a little bit. You can see the screen burn is really bad. And the pink, oh, you can't even see it on the monitor. It's like completely washed out. And still need to adjust the monitor, so. And turn up the volume a little bit. Alright, more work to come. Alright, so I always don't know how much I'm filming and stuff like that, or how much I want to film. But I went ahead, grabbed the monitor out of the game, put it on the bench. I'll talk about the chassis. It looks like some work has been definitely done on this monitor in the past. But I went ahead and put it on the tube restorer. And when I went to check the guns, it definitely, is missing some, it's a little messed up. So this is a Rollin tube, a VJ BMP 22 or something like that. But video 1, negative 100 bias, filament volts. Let's go to our, let's see here, how's that? No G1 short, no HK short. And now we go to our low tracking. I've covered this 100 times, so I'm just documenting it. I'm not going to explain everything. We adjust our guns, and we cannot get anything into the cutoff level at negative 100 bias. At negative 84, nothing. Negative 68. We finally get something on our red and blue guns at negative 52, but nothing on our green gun. Still nothing on our green gun. Still nothing on our green gun. And that's probably why those colors seemed a little whacked, right? I mean, we're not getting anything on our green gun. Let's go back and let's see what our emission is. No emission on our green gun. So this is definitely going to be an interesting one to restore. We're going to go ahead and hit the green gun. It's showing basically no emissions at all. So this is where you definitely want to get to the restore functionality, potentially even a rejuve. But we're going to go do the restore first. And Alright, I figured I would cut this in right before I did a low restore. I wasn't filming on the camera, and I had hit the low. I don't have this actually currently plugged in. But I had hit the green gun on low, and I had some weird behavior. Like it was like this thing was like either shorting or there was some load on it or something. But I hit the low and it was like making noises, and the LED was going crazy. And then I stopped, and then was like, all right, let me get the camera rolling, and now you'll see what I just did. But what you missed before, and I'm going to insert this right before it, was the little weird behavior, and then I'm going to hit low again here in a second. Alright, so I went to my green gun here, got the restore on green right there, and I'm doing low function. Alright, there we go. Alright, see if we get any emissions on it. Alright, that actually helped. It's amazing, that actually brought some emissions. and it got, so just doing the low helped that gun out. It was kind of weird. But let me go ahead and do low on all the guns and come back. I did the restore function low on all of them. We got no shorts, nothing at, no cutoff on negative 100. And I can adjust them all into the cutoff range with good tracking at negative 152. Then we move it back to 100, check our emissions, and it looks pretty bad. So I'm going to go a little bit harder on these because this tube is pretty burned. So even if I happen to go overboard, which I doubt I will, you know, I'll replace the tube anyway. One of the things you should watch, and I'm going to do the blue gun last here, is you see how my red LED is not getting all the way up to, you know, the midway point. It's kind of only getting barely into that cutoff range, which is a little weird. That's kind of, I don't know what that's telling me, but, and now we have a little bit of leakage or resistance on the G1 short test. The green gun's definitely got better there. Much better on the green gun now than it was before. Emissions a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and go to high, maybe even extended. We'll see. Alright, I hit it with the high, each gun, and we're still getting better. So I'll G1 shorts, I let the guns cool off a little bit. Go to negative 100 bias. HK short looks good. Cutoff low tracking, nothing. Turn up my cutoff levels, which is adjusting really the G2 voltage. And then we go down to negative 84 bias, and we have some life at negative 68 where we weren't before, but still I can't get everything into the cutoff, only one, the red gun. And then when I go to negative 52 with the extended cutoff test, much better than what we were seeing initially. So we're getting better every time. We're not getting worse in the extended cutoff. So what that means is we can keep on going. I mean, I can keep getting more aggressive with the guns until, you know, we are happy with the results, or if I actually get negative bias is worse, in my extended cutoff test, I mean, if I is worse, then obviously we want to stop. Go to our emissions. Not great at negative 100, but definitely better than what we were. So I'm going to go to the extended and come back. Okay, so I've banged on it a few times. Extended, back to normal, reactivate. I think I have it. Really, it hasn't improved much from my first improvement. So, you know, G1 short looks good. I let the guns cool off. HK short's good, obviously, which is good. Now, I'm in negative 52 volts. Let's go back to 100, negative 100, which is the tube specs. Do our extended cutoff, nothing in negative 84. Little bit of something, almost a little bit worse at negative 68 now, because I'm not getting anything on my green and blue guns. And green isn't full go at negative 52, but we can adjust these into the cutoff. And that's pretty good. I mean, everything's adjusted into the cutoff. We have good tracking, which means none of them are more than like 10 or 20%, need more than 10 or 20% more G2 voltage. Then we'll go to our emissions. Looks good, obviously, at negative 52, but not great at negative 100 bias. But one of the things I'm going to do is go back to negative 52 negative bias and just do the emission life test. We have good tracking, obviously. And you can see the green gun decreases much faster than the blue and red. So there's definitely not a lot of life left on the green gun, especially. even though it looks like the emission levels are pretty decent. Once you press the emission life, and which decreases the heater voltage, you know, the green gun, you know, goes down pretty fast. So with that said, I'm just going to leave it alone. I think it's as good as it's going to get, and if I can't adjust the colors well enough, I'll go ahead and do a tube swap, but I bet it's going to look fine even with these results that we saw here. Alright, mine got it hooked up to the TPG here, and really minus the screen burn, the colors, well, I know it's a little, it looks blurry to you, but it's not. There you go, focused. It looks pretty good. Now, you know, because the screen burn, the whites look, well, you probably can't tell, but the whites look a little off. There's a little bit too much green right now. I can see the green being driven a little bit too much. But the cutoffs, when you see this white, gray, darker gray, black, and I'm able to adjust that into, with just using the the brightness or the flyback control. There's two brightness, or at least two brightness. There's the flyback and there's the wow, that's not focusing at all. But look at that screen burn, that makes it look pretty bad. But as far as color, I got green, I got red, I got blue, you know, I got good cutoff. It's just that screen burn. I mean, there's good gray, white. So I'm going to put it in the cabinet and then do further adjustment, because you can see that green. Maybe you can see it. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see the green being overdriven. So I do need to adjust it to the colors on the board set. All right, let me put it back in the game. All right, so I didn't even adjust the colors yet, and obviously I turned the lights off, so that's a little bit different, but way better. I mean, if you can see it on the camera, the green, the whites, the blues, everything is just much better. So I still need to adjust the colors a little bit, but wow, does that look a lot better. Very nice. Can't live without a tube restorer.